So, who lives in here? In here? You guys, no, not in the room. Guys, oh, what a nice audience I have in here. Who lives in the island? Are we recording this? You lucky bastard. Guys, it's amazing. It's seriously amazing to be in here. What I'm afraid of, there's some slides are not here. Oh my God. Here, this is me when I go back to Stockholm after being here for a bit of time. So today's talk will be the magic of play, why we love games. But it's not what you expect. Usually why we love games, people speak about virtual trainer for our brains, spatial awareness, reading a map, learn a new language, be more logical thinking. These are amazing. I'm not saying ignoring them, but I believe there's a lot of talks about that. I'm going to speak about something completely different, which is unusual. I usually speak about tech, sometimes creativity, but this time it's about a bit psychology. So a question like, hey, Ali, do you have, or what? Oh no, the slides are not in order. Okay, so Ali, do you have a degree in psychology? The answer is absolutely not. It's actually, I'm so far from psychology, like that far. But how far is that, you might ask? Is as far as Skatteverket letting us keep our money. So, but why you should keep it staying in the room and listening to me? Hear me out, guys. Don't leave. Don't take your phone out yet. I'm so passionate about games. I've been looking into this subject for years. I've done my first talk about the subject at CD Projekt Red. Soft start, Yeah, I want to start public speaking. You go to the biggest company and speak about why games are good. But that was the starting point. Why we truly love games. And I had the pleasure to collaborate with a true PhD in psychology in games. And the names will be mentioned later. And I start talk to her what this is about. So, my name is Ali. I'm a senior producer at Star Stable. And because I know people hate introduction posts, I leave that to my ADHD fellows here too. So, I'm an advisory. I'm a board member at 2 gaming schools. So I do a bunch of stuff. So let's get started. This is going to be really challenging because now the slides are in different order, but let's see. So imagine it's a boring Wednesday, even though the island is amazing. And you did play with the cat a bit, then you go back to the office. It's so boring. And you get even more boring tasks from HR to update to need some policy changes at the school, at the work. Some vacation days you need to fill before 5 months of summer because they need to know who's going to be around. You say, you know what? Let me take my LinkedIn a bit to check some posts before the work is over. Then you find this post about a guy who wants to teach you about B2B because he ate kebab pizza, which sucks, which is me, sadly. Then suddenly you remember there's a game waiting for you when you go home. It's a game you play yourself, indie game, or a game you play with your friends. I see already people smiling. Anticipation. No one speak about this. Like Switch 2. My friend, he was like, are you high? Are you drunk? He was that happy. Few weeks prior to the launch of the Switch. Same happens to games. GTA 6, sadly, they keep postponing it. What I'm saying, this is a big part of making games start before even play the game. Are you kidding me? Do we really get excited just the fact that I'm going to go home and play a game with my partner, with my friend, by myself? So anticipation has been a big part of every time I finish work, the fact that I know that I'm going back to Stockholm, even though I'm going to be visiting the island, I'm going to play Elden Ring. This excites me. So that's something I just want to start by anticipation. It's something I don't feel like we talk about enough. So we start before even playing. Okay, now we start playing. Association. GTA 3. Who played GTA 3? I was so afraid I'm putting like elder people games. This game, when I see this game, I not only remember my bedroom at my parents' house after school, I even remember the smell of my hands. Seriously, it's a good smell though. Okay, I'm gonna not only the slides in order, I need to put my sentences in order. My mom used to buy this really unique hand soap. So I remember before playing, do like, and start playing. That was equivalent to having cocaine in the Hollywoods. Anyway, this shouldn't be recorded. So when you look at a game, it takes you back to moments at your family house, at your old school, at your playing at your friends, cousins. So that's something we associate games with memories, with days. Another example, Star Wars Last Jedi. I not only love Star Wars, I love Star Wars and like hack and slash games, like Souls-like games. But this game is special for a different reason. So here's what happened. I was playing this game for the first try. I was in a boss fight. I was so focused, like absolutely focused. So imagine me in the living room, looking at the screen, focusing on every button I'm pushing. Then suddenly my wife rushed to the living room. I'm pregnant. Guess what I did? The first reaction. I paused the game. Priorities. I didn't want to lose the progress. She didn't like that much, but... So I hugged her. It's like, wait, I'm gonna be becoming a dad. Then I continued to play the game. And I was trying to digest. I did start this game again. The same feeling hits. The same feeling hits. Now this game is so special for me. I played this game after my half-son Joseph. It hits. So we associate games with moments. Sometimes it could be bad, I'm not saying it's, but usually, like us, games usually attach with good time, with fun, after school, with family. Association is something I don't feel like we have been spoken about enough. This is literally, when I see this, I'm sitting on the ground with my dad playing this game on a CRT TV. This is where our relationship with me and my dad started to develop, when we started to play games. More about that later. Anyone play this game? Oh my God, at least one. So it's, you play two tanks and you need to protect the eagle. It's quite a fun game. So this is kind of association I mean when you play games. Just look at this image a bit. Tell me, how do you feel? Just look at your, like here, just I'm enjoying looking at you. Actually, you're the one who should be recorded, not me. So this is what kind of, we associate games. It takes us back to memories, to things. So that's also something I never seen. Working on this material, this is only the high level, was really tricky. I couldn't find anyone talking about association. I couldn't find anyone speak about, this kind of things, and anticipation of a game or a console. Now, things are getting more serious. Now we get excited to play the game. We associate playing game with something. But now, can games alter reality? Can do games real, leak to reality and change how we perceive reality? Let's look at some examples. When you look at this one, what do you think of? Anyone? Vacation. That's good. Do you recall anything when looking at this image? No one plays CSGO? It's actually one of the most famous maps in Italy. I just have a unique audience. Usually people, yeah, it's that one. So usually I get to answer this really fast. So if you play CSGO, Italy, this exactly reminds you of Italy because it goes two ways. Another example happened with me. I was in Malaga, beautiful city. I was in this, the cringe bus, to double bus, and you have like translator. I was in one of them. And I was around the city, taking photos, so excited. Then I saw this. I almost fell from the bus, from my excitement, taking photo. Why? Because if you play GeoGuessr, it's the poly hole. It's a unique electrical, they call it holy pole because it's holes in the pole. It's not the most smart name you will see, but my point is I was more excited seeing something recognized from a game than anything I've seen before, which is similar. So sometimes it's the opposite. We look at things in reality and, this is from the game, not the opposite. More examples about that. I cried, and I'm proud of that, in each one of these moments. So games can make us feel sad for the characters, super attached. Like you're crying like it's someone actually, get harmed or you lose someone close to you. So this also how games can alter reality in a way that we feel so attached to these characters. They made a really nice experiment with a horror game. When you play a horror game, does the music play all the time to put you in tension? The danger is following you. But then when you go to a safe space, the music changes. So what they did, they played the music of the safe space outside the game on someone who plays the game. Guess what? They felt calm. They feel safe. So that's how insane it is when games can change how we perceive reality. Just because of the music, you remember, when I hear this, I'm safe. I'm hearing this, I feel safe. So this is how powerful it is. Even more than that, there's a name for it if you want to. I highly recommend looking at this. It's GTP for short, or game transfer phenomena, where people have uncontrolled sensory of illusion or thoughts or feeling after playing a game. Like if you walk around and you see something flashy, like it's a sniper. If you play a lot of PUBG or Call of Duty, or you see like someone bald guy with like a tattoo, it's a hitman. If you're wearing a suit, this kind of things, where you start to recognize things in reality and you attach to games, especially after playing a game. If you look at some like rubbish collected, you feel like you need to with a pickaxe collect them. And this is like a research from my friend with an actual PhD degree made about this. And we wrote an article at BBC. I was so lucky to be part of it. I can send you the link after if you want to read more about this from examples from people who suffered, or I wouldn't say suffered, but they have experienced GTP, which is game transfer phenomena. Amazing. So let's summarize. We anticipate playing a game, we associate, and sometimes games affect reality. Can we build memories and feelings in-game only, in virtual space? Let's look at some examples. Apex Legends. I was playing with my friend. We had a team of 3 in here. We were 2 down there, only 2. So we used Lifeline. You can have like a drop. So we used that to distract them. So we put the drop in the other side, and we managed to flank them from the other side, and we managed to kill them. We're so happy. It was like a crazy moment. We felt like big brain, like IQ 100 plus minimum. But that's not the fun part. The fun part, weeks after, like weeks, I was playing with the same friend and a third friend. And we were walking by here. Hey, man, let me tell you what happened. And we were just telling exactly what happened in this space. We are sharing something happened in a virtual space we remember. And that's why people get really upset when we remove maps from the game. People afraid of change, we know that, all of us. But you have no idea. They have memories in those spaces. Tilted Tower, I miss Tilted Tower. It's one of the most hated spaces in Fortnite. If you manage to leave alive, most likely you might win. And when they removed it, people got really upset. You need to understand why now. Because those people, they have memories in this like fun. When they manage to beat everyone and with a friend and on camera, if they're streaming, this means a lot to them. So that's something I want to share. Cool. But can we develop feelings in game, not only memories? Can we actually feel something when we look at the games? But you didn't know the map and CSGO, so I'm going to ask again. Anyone plays any shooting multiplayer? Call of Duty, CSGO, this kind of games? Not few, okay, few hands. Have you been to a map by yourself? How does it feel?
Spooky.
Spooky. So he chose spooky among all the English words he could use. You are, my friend, far from the only one. If you just look how many people been asking why it's freaky and spooky, exactly the same word, to be an online multiplayer by yourself. Look at this. Is this insane? Are you telling me people feel lonely in a map because we designed the world to be populated with team and enemies? As soon you're there by yourself, you feel something is off. Try that. You feel something is wrong. Like, I don't feel comfortable in this space. And that's something I never seen any article, anyone speaking about it. And something, when I looked, it was so easy to find a lot of materials about this. What if I tell you everything I've mentioned so far is nothing about the second part? Everything. Feelings in games, leaking to reality, association, anticipation. This is nothing compared to this part. When games can go beyond everything I've mentioned, plus all the benefits of games. When games can truly touch lives, not only building memories. I work at Star Stable. And these are two comments really always stood out for me. Star Stable is my sanctuary from my depression. Because she do have allergy for hoofs. She cannot ride a real horse ever. But Star Stable allow her to experience that. Just think about it. Think about games allow possibilities for people where just because they have sickness or just being unlucky to be in some locations, they don't have a lot of opportunities where games let that happen. Another comment. I can't believe it's 10 years. It's a beautiful game. Star Stable is like my second life. If I'm having a bad day, it cheers me up. Where people feel it's way more than a game. It's a place for them to feel happy, to grow. Dark Souls. Anyone plays Dark Souls? It's a game known to be really hard. And when I was looking for this material, collecting every piece I could, I stumbled upon this one. How Dark Souls saved my life. Because if you know Star Wars, it's usually the opposite. Gets you angry. You want to destroy your controller. I was so intrigued, like how it helped you. He was having a bad time in his life. He was so desperate. Then his friend recommended this game. It taught him it's possible. It's possible to overcome challenges by being consistent and trying. And he actually managed to start a YouTube channel and a career. He was afraid his entire life. He thought he's late. Just because of a game, it just happened to be difficult. And respect mastery with being consistent. It changed his mindset and saved him from his depression. Without this, he could be still depressed. And we never know the outcome if but this happened, lucky him. A friend of mine, also I was bouncing this idea with him. He used to have a friend, his name is Tommy. They used to be kids, and after that they go and play racing game together. So in racing games, the faster car becomes the ghost. So you can actually play against your friend on your own by trying to be faster than the ghost. Sadly, life is unfair. Tommy died of sickness at a young age. But my friend, he got to still playing with him and try to prove him that he's actually good until he finally managed to beat him in a game and make him proud. And this is far from the only story happens. A kid found an old console, 10 years old console. He started the game and he managed to find his dad ghost in the race. And he was trying to beat his dad. He was playing with his dad after he passed away by himself. But guess what? He was improving and improving, getting faster. When he was so rushing to the finishing line, he stopped. He didn't want to destroy the last memory from his dad. When we start designing game, I don't believe that was part of the plan. I believe we have developed something sometimes more impactful than we think. And that's why I made this talk to bring awareness to this. Yeah, and that's the one. And it's also, in this case, two friends. He got to experience Mexico because they had a promise and they didn't manage to do it because sadly one of them passed away. I hope you have seen this on Netflix. Just a child with a rare sickness, he didn't get to experience the life like we do. But lucky him, he started playing World of Warcraft, when he not only experienced to be a normal life, he became a leader, where some of his guilt flew to Norway when he passed away, and his parents were shocked. Why people coming from all around the globe to someone they didn't even know about. And he did hide his sickness because he wanted to live normally, which is something only possible in games. And it happened in multiple cases when someone from the dev team dies or someone from the community dies, where people show memorial to even have that star stable. Even sadly, our target audience is between 7 and 15 or majority, but then it goes up, of course, up when someone sadly died. And this happened, they call it the final ride to honor her memory. But why seriously we love games? That's the question, like why we truly love games. If we ask ourselves why we're here today, listening to this, caring about making games, not only playing. It's a question that no one can answer by yourself. But it's unfair to not guide you how you can manage to find the answer. When you are unsure of anything in life, like why I need something, why this is happening, there's something called the 5 whys. I'm pretty sure, hopefully some of you heard of it. So ask yourself why, then you get an outcome. Ask yourself why again, then you're gonna drill down all the way to the root cause. And sometimes you feel like I'm annoyed. Why I'm annoyed? Because that colleague said something. Why that annoying? Then you figure out you're annoyed for something completely else. So I did that to myself very late. Like I just asked myself why I truly love games. Like why I want to make games to start with. Because games helped me when I needed them. Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? Until I finally found why I truly love games. Around 20 years ago, my dad, God knows, he was preparing me for World War III. He was so tough. He was like really harsh in a way. So we had a really tough relationship, me and my dad. We weren't that close. Somehow I managed to convince him to buy us a console. And he brought us NES. I still don't know how I managed to do that. I was playing on the TV and I was looking at him. If he's looking at me, like to show my skills, you need to impress your. He was looking the other way around because it's a kid stuff. So I was looking at him with my side eye, like he wasn't caring. Then suddenly it's 8 p.m. He said it's bedtime. Then I said, Dad, can I just play a little bit longer? Then he gave me the look, it's way more scary than talking. So I turned it off, I went to the bed, and my brain was so stimulated. It's there where I did fall in love in games for real. I couldn't sleep immediately. It took me a while because I was very hyped. After like maybe 15 minutes, a bit more, I'm hearing low music, game music. Am I dripping? Am I losing my mind? Is something happening? Then putting my life on the line in here, snuck from my room slowly and peeked. He was playing. I saw my dad in front of the TV playing. That's when the image of him being that tough guy changed. It's there we start to play with him more frequently. It's when I started to play the tank, 1980, and our relationship improved a lot. And of course, it continued to improve until 2006, and now we are best friends. Sorry, Dad, I keep bringing you up in the public. But I just want to share with you this kind of stories because I believe it's important to share this kind of things. But funny enough, just to show you, it's really important to know why we do something, why we want something, why something's favorite for us. For years, I had this game as my all-time favorite, no question. When someone asks me, what's your favorite game? I have this answer immediately. But now it makes sense. Of course it's that game. It's God of War. Of course it's God of War. God of War, anyone played God of War? It's a game about rocky relationship between a father and his son. Of course it makes sense. It represents what I was being through. It never came to my mind until really recently when I started asking myself. Special thanks to all the amazing people who have been giving me their time to bounce the idea, to share with me. Angelica, she is the true PhD with psychology in games, and a bunch of amazing folks who shared stories and gave me some inspiration. So, Why I decided to make this talk and really differently, because we have a big responsibility. We are crafting experiences, determine and influence how players think and feel and connect through gaming. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. And here's my LinkedIn, spoiler alert, or what I call it, warning, I spam. Like, I write every day, so sorry about that already, but I would love to connect with all of you if you want. So I'm not sure if we haven't checked the time, or we have plenty of time. Yeah, I like to keep it short and sweet. I don't like talks to be more than like 20 minutes usually. So if you have any questions related to this topic, or any in like a producer, finding your way to the gaming industry, whatever you have in mind, doesn't need to be here. Happy to take a couple of questions if you have any. So.
Thank you for a very nice talk. And maybe I should go out of the camera even. One quick question, Lane. There's like some super nice examples of sort of human connections around and with games. The examples that you point out mostly have to do with humans, people finding each other, doing something together. So how do you think about that or enabling that as a designer? Because I mean, I'm not sure if the NES was designed to make you closer to your dad. It did that somehow incidentally. So how can we think about that as a designer? And maybe then as a little question in there, how is games doing that better, if it is doing it better than other parts of human culture?
This could be the best question I've had. I've done this 3 times. This could be actually the best question, because now we are...
You say that every time.
so this is what I made the whole presentation, to start asking this kind of questions. Because as I mentioned, there's something we cannot control. It's all about association. Like, we cannot, we sell a game to someone and we try to make a party around their house. So they associate our game with a party. Like, that would be so expensive. But we can enable, by giving tools to players to actually do this kind of things, to increase the chances and the likelihood for these moments to happen. Why all this like co-op horror games go viral? Because the fun. Because people laugh a lot when they do it. Because the developers knew what they're kind of doing. So there's some already decisions being made. And sometimes we found there's a bug in our game. It's not harmful, and people are just having blast doing it. Then it's a question, should we fix it? Or should we just let it happen if it doesn't affect the economy of game, if it doesn't affect the other people's experience? So this kind of things we need to start to think more about. Should I fix a bug? People that just have fun, it's harmful. What kind of tools I can add to people to this? But the biggest thing we should do, by seriously just have what I said in back of our mind. Remembering the mission is way bigger than we anticipate. And you remind me of something important. This talk is not only to show how impactful what you're doing. It's a reminder for all of us, because it's so easy to forget why you joined the game industry to start with, and focusing on how to have more wish list, how to make even more money, how to this, and you forget all this, what brought you in here to start with. And that will be seen in the product that we're producing. That's how I see it. Hopefully that kind of helped a lot, but like, yeah, that's what I have to say about this. But thank you so much, that's a really, really great question. We have one here.
Thank you. It was a beautiful talk. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
I've been thinking about this question for some time, so I might word it a bit weirdly. But games like Star Stable are very vital for children. There's not many places online where children can roam around and play around and be safe, so to say. When making a game aimed towards children, is it difficult, or do you have different ways you need to look at it to make sure that it's safe for them?
It is absolutely a nightmare. When you have, it's a really great question as well. Wow, this you don't play CS:GO, but you're a good audience. So when your game is PG-13 or younger, it changes what kind of legislation you need to have in your game. Changes everything. Because if plus 18, there's a lot of games that are not plus 18, they put plus 18 just to avoid a lot of the hassle. But guess what? You cannot do that, by the way. If your game is appealing for kids, if it appears it's for kids, and you put plus 18, They won't accept it. Your game looks for kids, attracting for kids. You should apply what is for kids. But what does that mean? So we have different standards. GDPR in Europe, and this came COPPA compliant. We need to be COPPA, which is the other standard in the US and that region. So we need to be compliant with some standards because the game is for kids. There's certain things we cannot store. There's certain things we need to be encrypted. And we need to always have surveillance on the chat, fast line with any authority if something happens because you need to keep it safe. So we have done a lot of measurement at Star Stable. So we have partners we collaborate with to monitor the chat, the mood of the chat. Not only like we pass this like any attempt of any illegal activities, we even start to measure the tone if someone is mad, and show a message that we did the experimenting with like with a company being acquired by Reddit. So we have worked with amazing partners to see how we can keep improving the community. By if someone is just mad, we show a message. Maybe you're having a harsh time and saying something could affect someone's feeling. Maybe you should come back again. This is one of the measurements we have been doing. We have tried to lead by example by showing the culture of our studio to players. So that's also a technique you can do. If you want to promote a good values and you want to happen, show that you're doing it at your company. A diversity place, a safe space for employees that reflect their games that we're making. And of course, we have an army of super passionate people, ambassadors. So we not only rely on third-party partners, technology, we also rely on having humans, trusted people. They are aware to help and make sure to let us know if something happened. And of course, enable the players to report if anything happens. So that also, we have enabled that everywhere across the board. So this is how we keep it safe as much as possible.
Thank you so much. My family has grown up on the game.
Okay. You or your, who?
I played it a bit when I was younger, but my two younger sisters have loved it for so many years and
Perfect.
spent a lot of money on it.
So thanks for the money. That's to start with. I'm not sure if your credit card's still hooked. If it's this, maybe you should keep it for a bit, but no, don't. They are invited to Star Stable.
I'm sorry?
They are invited to Star Stable to visit the studio.
They are?
Yeah, now they are.
They will love to hear that.
So just let
Thank you.
them know when they are in Stockholm. I'm happy to host them and take them
I will.
around. Just
We'll
write to
be
me on
very
LinkedIn.
excited. Thank you.
Pleasure. Cool. Any more questions you have in mind?
Thank you. Well, first off, thanks for a wonderful speak. Given your experience both as a producer as well as an influential profile, would you say that there has been any differences in how players or even developers, for that matter, have expressed sentiments or feelings about games starting from like when the industry was fairly new, I would say?
Yeah, I mean, now we have social media.
Yeah.
And insane social media, we have review bombs they call it or something. So players are getting a lot smarter and people have options, so they are way wiser in spending their money. So I believe the era of supporting half-finished projects, a project not up to the standard, that not respecting the players' time and money, their chances of selling, they are reducing. And that's why I don't recall it ever happened. We have seen the amount of flops in AAA time after time. Now it's actually the opposite. Now we're waiting. I don't like if it fails, that's the normal. If it succeeds, like something weird happening. So I feel like people are getting way more. The awareness is higher, and the psychology of people also changing. And now we have an unprecedented competitor. Never happened. Games do have a new competitor. I was watching an interview where Netflix said, like, yeah, what's your biggest competitor in that like age gap, like Fortnite? Like, wait, Fortnite and streaming service? Wait a second. Of course, everything is competing for time. Everything. Social media, streaming, gaming, apps, you name it. So we have unusual competitors nowadays. So games needs to step up to be on par with this competition, which is healthy in my opinion, because yeah, I believe our time is so valuable, and I believe if we're gonna build the games, it needs to respect people. So I feel I'm seeing awareness. I'm seeing like studios are really start to understand that, but you know, that's a shift in our mindset. Takes time for big machineries to adjust, the AAA ones and the mega ones. But guess who's faster to be listening? You guys. The smaller studios, the solo developers, the indie games. If you just look at the success from last, like Schedule 1, Balatro, all these games made by a single person, because they understand what makes a game fun. They know graphics they don't care about much. Graphics, let's say you're making a game right now. If your game's targeting a new generation, Gen Z, X, I stopped follow when they told me I'm a millennial. So they are looking at 4K, 8K from the get-go. Yeah, they won't be impressed by high fidelity. They won't buy your game because it looks high fidelity. They're actually more interested if it looks rubbish and pixelated. That's change in mindset. So I believe the smaller cities are way more faster to adapt to this, but I see a huge change. But to be honest, there is no better time and place to be a game dev compared to now. I know this, I know what's happening in the industry, I know the economy, but with the technology happening, I'm not talking about AI and generative AI, we don't use it, I don't like it. I'm talking about Unreal, Godot, Unity. The free, like not learning right now, I don't believe anyone to have a zero excuse not learning right now. Zero. It's free education just spread out. Like I can share with you Epic, they released an amazing course in Coursera. 6 months education for free if you don't want to care about the certificate. Who cares? You can make few games using Blueprint and if you want to program. Right now, you can just do that by having a free engine. So I believe we live in a very interesting era where also with tools that allow people don't need to have a programming background. So we're also going to see people never get a chance to innovate with games, they will start. So it's very interesting, to be honest. And I'm going to be part of it, watching it, supporting it. It's going to be so exciting. Thank you so much for it.
Really insightful, thank you.
Pleasure. Yes, please.
I'm not a gamer, I'm an educator.
Perfect.
And with everything in education is like we have to teach our students AI because the industry wants it.
Yeah.
The industry wants students to understand AI. And as educators, we're like, well, what does the industry want? So you're saying your company is...
We don't use generative AI. What the industry wants, they don't know. We don't know. That's to start with. So if you ask multiple studios, you will have multiple answers. So how I see it, not learning AI, you lose the race. Simple. If someone, because I also teach, I'm a head of education at Future Games Warsaw. If you don't use AI, you lose the race. As simple as that. Because people are like, I hate AI, I want to use AI. Wait a second, you cannot say that. Because AI streamline a lot of repetitive, boring tasks, make us as superhumans. Not learning it, it's so dangerous. There's a lot of studios, they don't want to use AI for yet, but you know what they do? They have a full team, I cannot name the studio, full team of AI and data scientists just to understand. So when the time is right, they are not falling behind. So, but when AI is generating art trained on unauthorized, without any copywriting and stuff, stolen from artists, that's unethical. Absolutely not. But if there's an AI, I feed it like 1 million comments from social media and give me sentiment in 2 seconds. That's perfect for AI. So there's some use cases built for AI. I believe AI, why people are afraid of AI? Because it's the first time knowledge work gets threatened. First time. If you go back, I used to work at Volkswagen. When we introduced robots in the production lines, people panicked. I don't believe humans are built to put something in boxes and pass it to the next. Are you kidding me? We're way more sophisticated. So robots replace these boring tasks, and now AI is replacing knowledge work, which is scary for us. It's the first time knowledge work people feel threatened by something similar to the robots. But we always manage to pass this. Yes, some roles will be disappeared, sadly, yes. If your role is to find mistakes in a text, yeah, good luck, it's over. So always make sure that your skills are unique. Always make sure that you're learning AI to make sure to improve your outcome by making yourself a superhuman, in my opinion, if you know how to use it correctly. Yeah, so this is what I suggest. This is what I would guide the students. Avoid using generative AI. Use AI as your assistant. to review your code after you write it, to bounce ideas with it. Documentation, amazing. Like documentation makes you a lot faster. And that's how a lot of solo developers managed to make massive games by themselves, because they used AI to do a lot of documentation, streamline a lot of the boring or smaller tasks. Pleasure. Any more questions?
So as a producer, where you have to assign tasks, you have to lead in a sort of sense, in a company where you have so many people, how do you make sure you lead, tell people what to do, and keep it streamlined without losing your employees to bitterness, to overwork, and all that things that can corrupt a business and a company like that? How do you keep that from happening?
This is also a great question. Gaming industry, similar to a lot of creative industries, are completely different than any different industry. Super different. How is different? Let's say I make an app that reminds you to file the Skatteverket. I use Skatteverket always because I don't like them much. They take all my money. So to remind you to file your tax report when it happens. That's the app, which is amazing. Then you bring 10 people to do this app. How many of them will tell you, I almost dreamed. My dream was to make an app, set a notification for tax agency. I mean, maybe one, but I would love to meet that person. Like that person would be super interesting. We should bring him to Visby for a. So you won't see this happening. On the other hand, in the gaming industry, it's absolutely the opposite. Everyone, it has been their dream. Everyone is so passionate. So I have a different issue. If you want to work in a web product or something, you need to encourage people to do their work. In the gaming industry, hold your horses, guys. We cannot do all of that. They want to add more. They want to contribute. They want to give an opinions. So it's the opposite, which makes my job even more tricky because those people are high performing, super passionate. So we need to slow down. We need to make sure. I don't like to be the bottleneck. I believe anyone at the studio should be able to talk together. But when it's about request, I like to be the one who received the request, not to complicate things, to make sure I'm assigning the right people with less workload. Trust. If people want to cheat, they will cheat. As simple as that. That's why I don't believe in the. I did one internship. Don't tell that to anyone. It's recorded, I know. But the first time we saw this, like you need to put like a fingerprint. It was me and a guy we never met in life. Should we do it? Yeah, sure. He did he did one for me. I did one finger for him. So that was his finger, and that was my finger in his. So I could actually flip him anytime when he's not around. We immediately wanted to cheat because the system is not designed on trust. When you do that, you lose trust. When you start to track code lines, when you start to do counting whatever hours, you're losing already. Star Stable, why we have a dynamic or like a flexible hours. I do too. Now I'm like after my talk, I know like I've like put two more hours. I will do it. Why? Because no one is asking me. It's on me. So I'm the one monitoring myself. So I believe implementing tools on trust is way more rewarding than losing everyone's trust because it's one employee. You cannot really trust. So this is the issue. We put a lot of systems. Even though the majority are trustable people, just because someone wasn't trustworthy. So this kind of techniques I like, based on trust, and trust people, they can do their things. Not only trust them in hours, trust in their abilities. And that's something, if you are seniors, we'll try to finish in here. There's something called parent-to-parent relationship and parent-to-kid relationship. If you come to me, hey, Ali, I'm stuck with this task. What should I do? I know what to do. Do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm literally treating you like you don't know what to do. Instead, I should be just talking to you. That's it. Not giving you any single idea. Hey, Ali, I'm really I don't know how to solve this. Interesting. What are you gonna do about it? I don't know. Maybe I should try to split that, put it there. Yeah, that's a good idea. So what are you gonna do next? Maybe I'm gonna do that first. Then you will see the person solving it in front of you. We have been trained. I've done that many times. Just trust the people. They can do it. Unless it's mentorship. Mentorship, they don't know. Then you need to don't do that with mentors or mentees. That would be so funny. How to start per force. What are you going to do about it? I don't know. Tell me what to do about it. So that's something you do with your teammates. Trust the people they can do. Trust them they are competent enough. And you will see them actually thriving. And sometimes you feel like your solution is the GOAT. They will surprise you. I've been surprised with students at my teams. They're, wow, that's actually impressive what you have done. So this is how I would tackle this kind of things. Hopefully that answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. I cannot thank you enough for being here, for sticking around. Thank you so much. And we'll see you around if you have any more questions. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.